First of all, I just want to thank you guys for being here today. We're so excited to demonstrate the work we've been putting in with our convention. It's been a really long process, but the outcome has just made it all worth it. So, getting to know us, I'm Ryan McMillan. I'm a junior at Wilton High School, and I'm president of the Video Club.
I'm Gavin Lemonhurst. I'm co-president of Video Club.
And I'm on screen, the vice president at the Video Club.
Video Club is a student-run club at the high school. We have over 30 members, and they're all very important because they help us to achieve our mission of promoting safe driving in teens to our local community.
And we do this through social media. So just like most teenagers, us three use our phone for way too many hours than we should every single day. And we realized that we can take advantage of this. So what we do is we create PSAs and short videos to spread our information. And we post it on social media sites that students are highly active on, like Instagram or YouTube, and that's how we get the most engagement.
Now, you may be wondering why we chose to get involved. So for me personally, last summer, I had a family friend who was 15, and he was riding his e-bike in Trumbull, Connecticut, and unfortunately, he was hit by another car, and he unfortunately did not make it.
My cousin Aaron was riding his bike to school like he did every single day when he got hit by a car and unfortunately passed away, and the car couldn't stop.
And my reason is that just every single day, even at my high school, I see so many distracted drivers, and I don't like seeing all the distractions and people that are put at risk, and I don't want to just let it happen, and I want to make a difference. And up here you can see, this is a photo from my friend's dad. He was driving on a very residential road, and he got rear-ended by a drunk, distracted teen driver. And the situation could have ended so much worse, and I don't want to see things like this happen and not make a difference.
And as you can see on our first bullet point, over 3,000 teenagers die from distracted driving each year, and half of these are just the passengers, so they're not even the ones in control of the vehicle. And these passengers tend to be loved ones, and you would never intentionally put a loved one in danger, so it's always important to make the safe and easy decisions to keep them safe.
And it's so much more than just numbers, because everybody getting affected by this has family, teachers, classmates, and so many people that care for them. And when you're distracted behind the wheel, you're not just putting yourself at risk, but everybody around you.
So before we started our campaign, we sat down with our school resource officer, Officer Ventura, and we looked at local numbers to see what the most prominent issues in our community were. And what we found was the biggest issue was people not following the 1-year rule, which is a law in Connecticut that says you can't drive with passengers that aren't family members until you've held your license for at least 1 year. And I know this can be difficult because for me as a teen, obviously I want to hang out with my friends, but the law's there for a reason, to keep you safe. So it's always important to follow these laws. And we worked with Miss Breeze, who's actually right there, and she's a media production teacher at our school, and we had Media Production 1 students create short films, PSAs, to sort of talk about these issues in our community. And we had the Video Club actually select PSAs that we liked. So here's the PSA we selected for the 1-year rule.
Do you want to go to Y and work out?
Yeah, I'll drive.
You're only 16. I thought you couldn't drive friends until you have your license for a year.
Don't worry about it.
Today.
Good morning, officer. I'm doing well.
I'm Officer Ventura with the Wilton Police Department. Do you have your license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Thank you. It looks like you're a teenage driver. You know you're not supposed to have passengers in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. You realize how dangerous that could be and how distracting that could be as a new driver?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a warning today, but just keep that in mind for the future.
Do you want to go to Y or work out?
So it's a common misunderstanding at our school that you can drive with friends after just 6 months. However, the law in Connecticut is you cannot drive with friends until a year. And this law isn't just for no reason, but it's because when there's 3 or more passengers in the car, you're 4 times more likely to get in a car crash. And after talking more with Officer Ventura, we saw that the second most main reason for teenagers getting pulled over is their cell phone usage. So this looks like texting and driving, changing your Spotify playlist, and changing the song. Some people think that they can use text-to-speech because you're not actually texting. However, you're still taking one of your hands off the wheel and you're taking your eyes off the road. And you're putting so many other people at risk. So this is the second PSA that we made.
I know tempting could be to check what notification you got. I mean, I'm not really one to speak. I'm on my phone way more than I should be, but that text can always wait. So it's always important just to make the easy and safe choice to not check your phone while you're driving. And we found that the third most common reason for teens getting in trouble in our community was general distractions. So whether it's on like eating, food, friends in the car, or just music up too loud, that can also be really distracting. So us three actually get a PSA for that one.
Bro, I told you I'd get you back.
That was so funny.
Your phone's blowing up, bro.
Dude, I got a lot of friends. What can I say?
And that stupid seatbelt alarm. Turn
I
it
can't
off.
turn it off.
Bro.
Just turn the music up.
Hello?
Hello,
Who is this?
your future self.
My future self?
Yes. Have you been buckling your seatbelt?
No.
Have you been putting your phone on Do Not Disturb?
No, not really.
Do you have people in the car distracting you?
I guess.
Well, you better change that. Distracting driving is the #1 cause of death for teenagers. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Fix things and make it right.
Yo, you ready for the ski trip?
I'm so excited. Hans is driving.
Oh my god! They got you! No! You do not do this in my car.
Alright, sorry, but can you just turn up the music so I don't have to hear that seatbelt alarm?
No, okay? Seatbelts are on in my car. It's the safer way to do things. Okay, seatbelts on?
Check.
Alright, music not too loud.
Check.
Okay, and do not disturb is on, yep. I think we're ready to go, guys.
Let's go.
So we had a lot of fun making that PSA, and we made it engaging so that kids will actually watch it. But it still spreads a very important message, and it shows what you should and what you shouldn't be doing on the roads. And
So not only did we meet with our SRO and make PSAs, but we also did extensive research before creating our campaign by looking at educational resources like Impact Teen Drivers, where we looked at different articles and infographics to find important information or statistics. From there, we then started our campaign. We created our own infographics and articles, which were published in our local news, Good Morning Willen, and in our local newspaper. And we put our infographics up in places around town like Starbucks or like our local Willen Deli where we know teenagers will hang out and see them.
So adding on to that, we also held a convention in our school gymnasium. So we worked with the Willen Police Department. We also worked with the Phys Ed Department and the media production classes. And we had students go to the gym. And first they heard about the dangers of distracted driving, but we also wanted some hands-on experience. So we had things like drunk goggles, and as you can see there, the driving simulators where they got to test driving regularly, and then also while texting, and they were able to see how difficult it was. And then we also gave them the option to sign a pledge to drive safely. And then we also didn't want to just stop there. We wanted to go in our local community, so we held a 5K where we had people from all ages from our town and then also neighboring towns show up. And then before the race, we gave a speech sort of discussing our mission and how dangerous distracted driving in teens was, and kind of what we did to promote it.
So the impact of our campaign. I think I could speak for all three of us here. We were really, really happy with the turnout of this campaign. It started off with such a small thing and it kind of grew into such a big part of our lives. You know, we had over 1,200 participants in our school and our driving simulator, drunk goggles, and our making PSAs. We averaged over 5,000 views on Instagram throughout all of our posts. We were really proud of that because we wanted to spread our message through social media. We were published in the local news, and we recently had a guest speaker, Andy from Impact Driving, come over to our media class and present about our distracted driving and how to drive more safe.
So this last video we created was just an overview of our campaign. Our goal for this video was that other schools across the nation could see the things we've done and implement it into their own schools to make their roads safer.
For the last few years, our mission hasn't just been a project. It's been the very fabric of our community. We don't just talk about safe driving, we believe in it. We live it. And we know that in order to protect each other, we must teach each other.
Every single person who's joined Video Club wants to make a difference. We all agree that it's so hard seeing the distracted driving that occurs at our high school and not make a difference. We wanted to make sure our community feels safe.
Hello, I'm Hans Green here at Wilton High School, and I'm ready to take you on our journey of safe driving.
We knew we couldn't do it alone, so we started bridging the gap. We did this by meeting with our school resource officer and built a bridge between students and our local police.
From there, the momentum grew. We worked with the health department and our media classes to produce PSAs that actually spoke to our peers. We brought in guest speakers and hosted school-wide events featuring driving simulators. We didn't just want to lecture, we wanted students to see and feel the real-world impact of their choices.
We took our message out of the hallways and onto the streets. We organized a community 5K supported by our cheerleaders and local athletes. It showed everyone that this wasn't just one club or one group, this was the entire school standing together.
Even on Friday nights, under the stadium lights, we were there. Between plays at sports games, we were in the stands passing out GDL pamphlets, making sure parents and students had the tools they needed to stay safe. We've put in the work and the culture is shifting, but what real difference did we make?
Let's see what some of our fellow students have to say.
Watching the PSA video taught me to really just be safe when I'm driving. Even though it was really funny and they're my friends, it spread a really important message that I think all teenagers should watch and listen to.
While Donovan and his friends made a lot of right choices, the wrong choices they made cost them their lives. This made me realize how important it is to take the correct precautions while driving, especially with your friends, that can potentially save your life.
After watching the PSAs, now that I'm a driver, I realize that it's extremely important to make sure everyone is safe.
Watching these PSAs was really important because even as a passenger, I learned to speak up because 50% of people who die in a car crash are passengers.
I participated in the driving simulator earlier this year, and it taught me that driving while texting is something insanely difficult and something I would never do and something I could never do.
I'm really happy that they organized a 5K that I participated in to bring the community together to raise awareness about safe driving.
We started our impact just at Wilton High School, and through social media, we expanded throughout our entire community. Our next step is to expand our campaign across the country for all different people to see. I'm Gavin Lemonhurst.
I'm Hans Green.
And I'm Robert Millen. And remember, every time you get behind the wheel, to eliminate all distractions.
Well, I haven't seen any of these. I had to put this together as a part of the planning committee, and I didn't watch any of them. I wanted to experience it like you did, and just wow. What we've heard is it's not just inspiring, it proves this can work, right? It's real proof that this works. And this is what happens when youth are equipped with evidence-based strategies supported by committed educators like all of you in the audience, and given the opportunity to lead. One of the reasons each of these groups was chosen is because they weren't part of, quote, a traditional traffic safety student group like many of us. There's nothing wrong with that, we need more of those. But it's kind of like preaching to the choir with those groups because we know they're engaged in the message. These were all different groups that hadn't been part of traffic safety, health and safety messaging. And I think for most of us here in the room, the question is probably not really whether youth should be involved. I think we all believe youth should be involved, but how do we ensure youth are really prepared, supported, and positioned to drive that real change? I think that's a harder question. As you reflect on what you've heard from these student leaders, I encourage you to think about your own work. Where can student voice be more intentionally integrated, and how can we better support youth with the tools and strategies that actually work? Because what these students, these young leaders demonstrated today, it's not just possible, it's something we can all take back, implement, and scale in our own communities. And I'm really impressed. And so thank you to the educators that are here, the teachers that took the time, the student leaders. You guys are just, man, gives me hope for the future, I can tell you that. I want to open this up for questions. We have lots of time. I've got questions, but just really impressed with what I saw. So I'd like to start with questions. So I'm going to take those mics back from you down there. And Carol and Andy. In charge now.